Coming up on Look Today, well, U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand visited Hudson Falls today to speak on Lyme Disease Prevention. I've got details. Plus, we got updates on the volleyball tournament that happened this past weekend in Lake George. More on that coming up. And Veterans and Community Housing Coalition moved its headquarters. I've got those details. All ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program I sit down with Nico Altikin. He's the director of the Lake George Film Festival. We're joined by Amanda Metzger. She's marketing director for Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce. And they're here to talk about the upcoming Lake George Film Festival. That's happening this weekend. I also sit down with Joanne Soll. Now she's the board president for Campability Saratoga. And we're joined by Natalie Wood, a third-year camper at Campabilities. And they're here to talk about the camp and upcoming sports tournament. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand spoke in Hudson Falls today on battling Lyme disease. Now, she discussed efforts by the federal government to combat this disease. She spoke in Jucket Park in downtown Hudson Falls. Now, the federal government has processed and established the Tick-Borne Disease Working Group. Now, the formation of the group was a provision in Gillibrand's Lyme and Tick-Borne Disease Prevention Act, which became law in December. Well, Lyme disease, as you probably know, is a huge issue in New York State. We spoke to Holly Ahern. She's Associate Professor of Microbiology at SUNY Adirondack and also the co-founder and Vice President of the Lyme Action Network.
The Senator is going to announce that the Department of Health and Human Services is going to convene a committee, a working group in fact, which will get together to review the science, all of the science from 40 years to the present, to reevaluate the construct of Lyme disease as it exists currently.
In other news, well, we got updates on the volleyball tournament that happened in Lake George Village over the weekend. Well, the Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce and CVB, in partnership with Warren County, hosted the first annual Lake George Queen of the Lakes Pro-Am Beach Volleyball Tournament. And the volleyball tour is part of an 18-stop nationally televised tour in key markets across the country. Well, over 95 teams participated. All you can say is congratulations to the Village of Lake George for putting on a great event. Now, we're going to have more updates on the Sport Tourism Initiative and 365 in the coming days and weeks. All right, switching from news to weather. Earlier today, saw clear skies, temperatures in the high 80s. Well, guess what? Thunderstorms are creeping in. Let's see how the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser with your first look weather forecast. Here's the national map. High pressure in control for parts of Tennessee and North Carolina, along with that stationary front boundary making its way through parts of the Atlantic, so pulling out to sea. Stationary front boundary impacting parts of the Ohio Valley. Warm front boundary making its way through portions of the upper peninsula of Michigan. Cold front boundary is making its way through the upper Midwest, and out towards the west we have a few areas of low pressure over Arizona and then high pressure aloft. And we'll see a low pressure system over our northeastern part of the country tonight with this stationary front. It's going to bring increased chances of scattered showers and storms. Some could be severe with damaging winds and hail being the primary threats. Low temps across the Capital District here in New York State be about mid-60s, 62 Whitehall, and about 64 degrees in Glens Falls, 59 up in elevation in Pyersville. We'll see more storms likely, as I mentioned. Some could be severe, so be prepared for that. A few lingering storms, partly sunny skies, 82 the expected high on Tuesday. And the out-the-door forecast will be about 70 degrees with a few isolated storms, so don't forget the umbrella as you go along through our Tuesday. We won't need it likely on Wednesday. We'll see mostly sunny skies, 85 the expected high after a morning low of 64. When we may need the umbrella again on Thursday, we'll see a 40% chance of showers and storms, mid-80s for highs, mid-60s for lows before late this week and into this weekend. Lower 80s for highs, 63 the overnight low of Friday, on 58 for Saturday morning under mostly sunny skies. So that's a look at the first look weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser. Now I'll send it back to you, Jesse.
Thanks, Clarence. All right, back to the news. Well, the Veterans and Community Housing Coalition, they moved their headquarters to the old chocolate factory on Prospect Street in downtown Ballston Spa, historic building. The new move will allow the coalition to consolidate all of its departments into one place of operation. Now, with new projects underway, such as veterans housing at the old Saratoga Dyna site, the department will now be able to communicate better internally. Well, we spoke to Cheryl Hage Perez. She's executive director.
And it was the guardian house for homeless female veterans. And as we were growing, it became more administrative staff, case management staff, housing staff, taking up their whole bottom floor. And I really felt we were imposing on them.
You know, Cheryl does an amazing job with veterans issues. All right, up next, I sit down with Nico Altikin. He's director of the Lake George Film Festival. We're joined by Amanda Metzger. She's marketing director, Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce. Now, they're here to talk about the upcoming Lake George Film Festival that's happening this weekend. Plus, I also sit down with Joanne Soul. Now, she's board president for Camp Ability Saratoga, joined by Natalie Wood. She's a third-year camper at the camp. Now, they're here to talk about the camp and upcoming sports tournament. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. It's Monday, so we want to look ahead. Really interesting week. Planned Parenthood is coming in. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik will be here on Friday. We're doing interviews with Saratoga Bridges, the Ciro's Cup. Pitney's Meadow Farms is having a big fundraiser. We're doing an interview with that. And of course, Rockmon, tomorrow night, Tuesday, 6:30 at Lena's. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. Also tonight, we're covering the immigration meeting here in Saratoga on the economic impact. Wednesday, EPA will be here talking about the PCB dredging of the Hudson River. What a week. Also, I want to remind you, first I'll give you the winners for Saratoga Fair tickets. Dee Fendrick, Ricky Washburn, and Mickey Gusti. I'm not kidding you. Missy Gusti. Missy, I love your name. Please stop by here, Look TV Studios in Saratoga, any day between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Now, if you want a chance to win tickets, the fair starts tomorrow and is running all this week. Go to Facebook, like us, share us, and we'll capture your name, and then you're eligible to win tickets. And last but not least, only in Saratoga, only in the summer, could you meet Rambling Dan, Professor World Band. This is a one-man band that gives new meaning to one-man band. So Drew went up today, talked to him, and got him to play for us. 39 years of making people smile in 39 different countries, making people smile for 33 years. Ramblin' Dan, here he is.
In the one man